What's up, guys? It's Primetime Poulton. With me, the hitman, Mike McMahon. And we have a special guest today. We have Don Chin, creator of X-Farce, which went live today on Indiegogo. Hey, Don, how's it going?
I'm doing great. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Before we get into X-Farce, I just wanted to plug Mike and I. We have USAssassin Volume 3 launching in the spring. There's a mailing list right now on Indiegogo. You can sign up. Everyone who signs up gets a link when we go live to a discounted tier. And I'm going to play the video right now.
After me, yeah. Hey, this is USAssassin. Yeah, this is USAssassin. Let's go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That always gets me pumped up watching that video. My family's already sick of it.
Oh, come on.
We got some people in the chat. We got Candace. Hey, Candace. Thanks for joining us. We got
Candace.
Edwin the Ace.
Edwin.
Edwin's going to be on our show probably next week, talking about his upcoming project, the Ace. Audio is muffled. Who's muffled, Edwin? All of us, or
just me? Like
you
always.
Clear on my end, Mike.
Yeah.
I think
maybe, I don't know. The trailer was a little muffled on my end. I just thought it was me.
Really? Huh. We'll work through the technical difficulties. So we have Don Chin with us today. Don, the trailer audio Edwin just posted. Yeah, all right. So Don, you've been in the comic industry for quite a long time. Would you mind giving us some background on your history? And before that, I just want to say I feel like it's almost comic book fate that you're joining us today. When I knew you were going to be on the show, I was at my LCS, and no new comics I collect came out this week, so I was flipping through the back issues, and I found this.
That is awesome.
I was like, it was meant to be.
Yeah, awesome. Mine's downstairs. I'd dig for it, but yeah, that's an Indiana Jones level archaeological dig. So,
well, that's cool, man, and I appreciate you kind of doing that unboxing of those '90s comics a few weeks ago, and I was surprised because I didn't know what to expect, and it seemed like it was mainly kind of like a Entity Comics and Lightning theme box that you opened. So that brought back a lot of memories. As far as my history goes, I'm quite a bit older than you guys, so I think I got first published in the early '80s, and I was a comic book fan growing up in high school, and started to collect, Marvel stuff mainly. Around the time like John Byrne was doing X-Men is when I kind of got the collecting bug. But long story short, I wanted to be in comics from an early age, so my friends and I did a fanzine called Overload in like 1979 when I was still in high school. We thought we were like God's gift to cartoonists back in we were pretty cocky when we were in high school, but looking back on that stuff, I wouldn't even use it for like birdcage lantern.
I have a few of those of my own, not yours, of my own.
We're going, why aren't they accepting our submissions? And then you look back on that, and you go, I can see why we got reject letters back in the day. So we kind of, got my teeth honed on a fanzine, and we did 5 issues of Overload. I think I have the 5th issue right here. Like the first issue was like black and white interiors, and then we gravitated to full color. So this came out like in 1980. We were publishing maybe every quarter, and it was mainly just distributed up in Northern California where I live. But after like the 3rd issue, we started to get national distribution through some distributors, mainly Bud Plant, not necessarily Diamond, but Bud Plant was kind of a Northern California based distributor. So he picked up our book, and it wasn't really making money. It was more like just to have fun. We sold some advertising, but that was like non-paying work. And then at the same time, I was trying to see if I could get a job with, one of the big companies, and I would send in scripts, and then Jim Shooter would send back a, thanks, but no thanks letter. But it was impressive because it really was signed by him. And I don't think I kept those anymore, but I kind of used rejection as fuel for the fire. And I figured, well, if no one else is going to publish me, then maybe I should self-publish. And so I've kind of had that independent spirit, since I started comics. But I did finally get published in Cracked, which I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember Cracked. But Cracked is, they don't make Cracked or Mad anymore, but this was like on newsstands when we were growing up, and you'd go down, and get your groceries and then get your fix of satire. And so Cracked was something I read as a young man. And then I figured, well, why don't I'm submitting to Marvel and DC. Why don't I try Cracked? So I actually broke into the industry like in 1983 with, this is like $1 cover price. That shows how old I am. It's number 200. But I got published a few issues.
We're not as young as we look.
So Cracked was kind of fun because it had John Severin. He was the guy that did most of the covers in the movie parody. So I really gravitated towards, that type of satire, the Mad Magazine movies. Oh, Mort Drucker. Excellent guy. Yeah, I like Don Martin, Sergio Aragones. All those guys were very, very talented. So Cracked was my first paying gig, but it was by no means a regular job like I was, writing a regular series. But in the course of doing Overload, my friends and I that were the Northern California cartoonists, we would go down to conventions like in San Francisco, set up a booth there and try to sell our fanzine and kind of make the rounds and meet people. So at those cons, I would meet people that were in their early career, like Mike McMahon is one,
Nice.
Art Adams. These guys were basically not published, and they were selling their sketches at tables for like $25.
Oh,
So
man.
I picked up a bunch of Mignola 8.5 by 11 ink pieces, and unfortunately I've sold them since then, but I'm sure they're probably worth a lot more than what I paid. And Sam Keith is a guy that I work with that I met through cons. But the connection from cons to my career is that at one of these cons I ran into Eclipse Comics, and that was Dean Mullaney and Kat Ironwood were the publishers of Eclipse. And they were just kind of starting to get started. They were one of the first independent companies that were doing comics. They did like stuff with Jim Starlin, P. Craig Russell. A lot of big names kind of went over to Eclipse and did their own, creator-owned titles with them. Rocketeer was one that everybody remembers. That was a good book. So I met Eclipse publishers, and I just kind of kept a dialogue between them. And so when I thought of spoofing the Ninja Turtles with the Black Belt Hamsters, Eclipse was the first company I thought of because it seemed like kind of up their alley. It wasn't a Marvel or DC title by any means, but it was weird enough to kind of be on something that I think they would consider. So Parsonovich, who was my artist, he drew up the whole issue. I was in college when I thought of the hamsters. We did like a 31-page comic book that was all ready to go. So we made copies, and then I sent them to Eclipse, and they got back to me and said, "Yeah, we'll help you with this." So they were just going to do it as a one-shot, but when they got the orders back, it was like almost 60,000 copies.
Wow.
Of the book, and at that time, I mean, that was selling better than a lot of their color books. So most people know me from Hamsters. It was the very first Ninja Turtles parody, and then from there, a bunch of people kind of spoofed the Turtles, and they spoofed us. And, I don't know if I'm on Eastman and Laird's naughty or nice list, but I think they were flattered. I did it out of love because at the time I was running a comic book store, and everybody was talking about the Turtles. You know, this book kind of came out of nowhere. These guys kind of look like they're like raw Frank Miller type artists, and so all the independent comic book stores were saying, "Oh, I can't keep this book in stock. It's like flying off the shelves," and they're doing multiple printings. So I was in college and I was just doodling in a class one day, and I thought, well, if Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will sell, why don't I take it to another level? So I just came up with adolescent, radioactive, Black Belt hamsters, and I doodled a few of them, and then I gave it to my friend Parsonovich with the script, and that's the first issue of Hamsters, which kind of was my rocket to get known by other people.
Nice. That's cool. I love hearing people's stories about how they got in, and
did that sort of set you on your path of doing parody books?
Yeah, I've always kind of had this soft spot in my heart for satire. I mean, I grew up with watching the classic Saturday Night Live sketches and movies like Airplane and Woody Allen movies. So, I mean, I have a serious side as well, and I like superheroes and fantasy and science fiction. But to me, humor seems like the natural thing for me to write, where I'm in my comfort zone. Because sometimes, Mark, as a writer, you wait for that muse, and sometimes you get writer's block and nothing comes. But then there's just times when you get inspired and the stuff just kind of writes itself, and that's when I think it's the most satisfying, is when you're not forcing the script. It just is, you feel like maybe you're divinely inspired to write something that people will enjoy. And that's what I aim for when I write. I'm not doing it kind of like a drudgery thing. I'd rather put out something that I myself would enjoy reading. And the love and the passion shows through. Fans can sense that, they can see a creator-owned title versus a corporate-owned title. Yep. And there's just a certain degree of love that doesn't come through on the, on the paying gig that I think you can see, like with your book, with USAssassin. It's great. I read the first graphic novel that you guys sent me, and I finished it. And now, like I want to read the second one. It's almost like a fine wine. I don't want to go through like the bottle in like a half hour. I want to just because I know the amount of work you guys put in. And most people read a comic book in 20 minutes and they're done with it. And it's kind of sad. I think if you can read it slowly and just kind of let it marinate, it's a much more satisfying experience, especially when you know how much blood, sweat, and tears you put into the project.
Yeah, no, like you were saying, USAssassin for Mike and I, it's the type of book we would want to read. It's our love of G.I. Joe mixed with our love of 90s comics. And, it's just, if we saw that book on the shelves, we would we would want to pick it up. So yeah, well, I definitely get. Is that your Snake Eyes?
Yep.
Yeah. So you mentioned Eastman and Laird. Did you ever have any run-ins with creators whose books you've parodied?
Yeah, actually, I ran into Eastman and Laird at like some East Coast conventions back in the 80s. And I really never had the guts to go up to them. I was afraid they might slap me around or take me in a work me over. But I actually was kind of friendly with Steve Levine, who did a lot of their lettering. And,
nice.
And he was nice. And I've seen Eastman in interviews say that he approved of the hamsters. But ideally, my dream collaboration would be to have a Hamsters Turtles book.
Yeah.
And right now, Dynamite owns the rights to the hamsters, so it's more of they're the ones that are in control of the property. But I've got some ideas for miniseries for the hamsters that I'd love to bring to life. So right now, thanks, Eddie. Thanks for backing, buddy. That's Sovereign Wolf, right, Eddie Winkler?
Yep.
Appreciate it. It's cool to get to know you guys. There's so many great talent. I just wish I had this, I just wish I had this wallet full of money that I could just back every.
I know. It's hard. It's really hard because there's so many great books out there, and I'm just like, it's like I can only do so much. I'm only one man. I've got 4 kids, so.
Yeah, I know you're a good family man. It's admirable to be able to make a living in comics if you can. Mike, do you have like a second job?
Yeah, I work in a factory. I build dump trucks. So
wow,
not exactly ideal for an artist, but I'll make it work.
That's all right. I think it's wise to have your dream, but be realistic about it. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket and hope it's all going to pan out. I think when I was doing comics and getting into it, I had my store to fall back on, and eventually it got to the point where financially it was better for me to do writing and publishing than it was to operate a comic book store. So I basically left the comic book store in the 80s and then went into doing parody press in the early 90s.
Nice.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Don, what made you feel that this was the right time to bring back X-Farce?
It was always kind of a dream for me to either bring back the hamsters, reprint the hamsters in color, or some of my older work in color, because most of the stuff that I did, about 95% of it in the 90s and the 80s, was black and white. And X-Farce kind of held a special place in my heart because it was the very first book that Bill Mouse and I ever worked on. And then Bill and I went on to do parody press, which we did literally hundreds of satires. And Bill was only 22 at the time, and it was his first professional work. He was basically a cartoonist down at SeaWorld, drawing people's, characters if you were visiting the theme park. So by chance, an editor at Eclipse knew Bill and his friend Bob Hannon, and they reached out to them after I gave them the X-Farce idea. And so that book sold really well for Eclipse. In fact, I think it sold better. The single issue sold better than the hamsters. I think they sold between 60 to 70,000 of X-Farce.
Wow.
And at the time, Valerie, the editor, she was friends with Todd McFarlane, and Todd was just starting to, skyrocket. And he was actually supposed to do the cover for X-Farce, but it fell through.
Oh no! Wow.
But it would have. I mean, if we would have had a McFarlane cover, it probably would have had double numbers. So
easily.
So
well, that answers the question I was going to ask. I'm friends with Bill, and I was going to ask you when. So Mark's question took care of that.
Yeah. So, anyways, because the hamsters are kind of tied up licensing wise with Dynamite, X-Farce and the X-Cons, which are the suits of the X-Men, to me made made sense to try to bring back. So what X-Farce Reloaded is, it's a mixture of the best of the X-Men spoofs that we did in the 90s, along with like 20 pages of new material. So you're getting to see the original X-Farce all in digital color now, as well as X-Cons, which is kind of like a Lee and Kirby 1960s throwback. And then we have 5 other new stories that are going to be in it by, we got like 13 different creators involved in the book. So it's been quite a juggling act to get everybody, colorists and letterers and when you have a tight knit group, kind of like when you're the writer and you're the artist, it makes it somewhat easier. But when you've got an anthology, it's trying to corral. I think I said it's like trying to corral rabbits. You're trying to just the place, but it's exhausting. I mean, I went through your book and I said, these guys put in a lot of time into this. The first issue, and
3 years.
How many years? 3?
3.
Wow. I was gonna say I read it and I was saying you could see, Mike, how your art gets better and better throughout the first issue. Like I was reading it, and I thought Mark's storyline was really intriguing because you just open it with a lot of action, and then that scene where USAssassin comes out on his motorcycle, that to me really kicked it into high gear. And I don't know who the inker was, but there was some sequence where you can kind of you work better with a certain inker, I thought, in that book. I don't know who inked what page, but you had like 4 inkers, right? 3 or 4 inkers. Yeah,
never again.
Are you
never again? Unless I can lock down like Adelso Corona, I'm doing it all myself.
Nice.
Thanks, Phil.
Yeah, thanks, Phil.
Anyways,
because there's definitely dips in what I feel quality wise, and I want it to be consistent. So going forward, it's just all me. So hopefully, volume 2, when you read it, it'll show.
Cool. Yeah, I'll get back to you on this. I'll probably, I do my own live streams now, and I've been giving you guys some love on just the first week, and I played your trailer, and I wanted to talk about that because to me, if there was a comic book trailer Emmys, I would nominate US Graveyard Shift because you went to a different level. I mean, I thought just me having a voice actor do Patrick Stewart for ours was like a kind of a genius act, but when I saw yours and you actually had like wrestlers going after each other, and you had this awesome rap song, I said that probably cost some.
It really
all him.
It looks more expensive than it was. I mean, I spent a little bit of money, but we were lucky. The wrestler, the mercenary Flip Gordon, he's going to become our Sergeant Slaughter and become a member of the USAssassin team. So I just asked him if he could make a video for us, and he cut this great video. It was way better than I imagined. I thought he was just going to like take his cell phone and like do almost like a selfie type a shout out for us, but he gave us this great video, and he has a YouTube series called The Mercenary, where he did like those stunts. So we took a couple of the highlights from that, and then I hired someone to do a rap song, and I was like, I just imagine this being a Saturday morning cartoon. Could you give us like a theme song for it? And he killed it. And then I hired Ted Zagaro, who edited everything together for us, and he came up with the awesome during the rap song with the like that data information like flowing at you. Yeah, I was just so excited when that when I saw the end product. So thank you for bringing it up. Cool. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, you should be. It's I don't think people understand how much work goes into those trailers. I've been waiting, working with Ascension, who does a lot of stuff with like Ethan Van Sciver and Starlight Cats, and from the time I gave him my script, he's so busy doing his regular job. These comic trailers are just kind of his side gig, and it took him, probably a good 2 to 3 months to finally put it together, and we're pretty happy with it. He did a good job on it. Did you find the vocal talent like on Fiverr or for your rap song or?
Yeah. I hired the guy from Fiverr. He had done a song for my Sea Dog campaign last year, so I hit him up again, and he had the song done, I think, in like an hour.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's nuts.
yeah. I told him I just gave him a list of all the characters and what their like a one sentence description, and he literally turned those sentences into a rap. He came up with a rap, like a rhyming word to go after like each thing. So the guy's brilliant.
Yeah,
His name
it
is
was awesome.
I think his name's Mike Burton. So if you're on Fiverr, look him up. He's Burton M6.
Nice. Yeah, we found a guy that was a Patrick Stewart vocal guy, and it's pretty reasonable to go on there. And like I said, I sent him the script, and pretty much within like an hour, 15 minutes, he had like a wave file that he sent to us, and it was a little back and forth to kind of fine tune it. But eventually, we had what we wanted, and we sent the file to our video guy, and he edited a trailer. Maybe I can play the trailer a little bit later if you want.
Yeah.
I actually have your page pulled up for X-Farce Reloaded. Did you want to go over the campaign?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
All right,
Mike.
let me share this. All right, so this is you want me to play the trailer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
My name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. Not just
It's garbly.
Yeah.
You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons. Can read.
Am I the apple of your eye, Bubba?
Deep Ray. Beastie Boy. Oh, everybody dance now. Oh. No code.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
And their friends from X-Farce, Cable TV,
Remote control, Rob.
Garfarel, Ow, Domino,
This book has just the right amount of cheese.
and Mutant. Beware the rest. Hank Motto, Mistress Pink. Not at all breaking the fourth wall. That's cool. Now, Heritage Press Comics is back with X-Farce Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full-color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tier. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talent. Heritage Press, making the world laugh again. Only on Indiegogo.
Awesome. Thanks.
That was great.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, buddy. And I also want to say thank you for being backer #1. I didn't know who that was until I saw your tweet.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, no, I was excited. I was surprised. I was just flipping through Indiegogo. I thought you were going to launch today, and then I saw you post the link that and said that you were you decided to go early. So I quick jumped on, and I was excited to be backer #1. I've never been backer #1 to any campaign. So
Yeah, you signed up for the pre-launch, so I sent out an email to everybody yesterday saying, "Oh, we're going to launch at midnight. Thanks for signing up." And then I talked to a couple of people that had crowdfunded, and also to my wife that said, "Don't you remember I told you that you should have launched like at 7 at night? Because if you launch at midnight our time, no one's going to be up, and no one on the East Coast is going to be up." And then I remembered you guys ending your campaign like at midnight at 3 a.m. And I was thinking, do I want to be like Mark and Mike at 3? And I thought I'm an old guy. I need my sleep. So I think I'm going to launch this, just throw all caution to the wind and send out an email and say, "Oops, April We're launching.
Unfortunately, I think no matter what time of day you launch, I think your campaign's going to end at 3 a.m. Eastern, midnight.
Oh, really?
Pacific. Yeah.
And how many houses did you have to inspect the next day, Mark? 50?
Yeah. It was a fun day. So, Don, can we go through some of the can we go through the reward tiers and you tell us what you get?
Sure.
So the featured tier is all 3 X-Farce cover variants. That's what I backed.
Yeah, thank you. So we've got all 3 books. At this point, we have 3 variant covers. The first one is the big image on the left, which is Bill's revisited X-Farce cover that he drew just last year, which is visually colored. And you also get the throwback 1960s X-Cons cover by Mark Lewis. And then Rob Willis is working on Graveyard Shift with you, right?
Yeah, he's doing one of the stories for our supplemental book. His story is called Runer, which John wrote.
Okay. So Rob is commissioned to do our 3rd variant, but he's a little behind schedule, so we're still waiting for that image. But I know you guys know he's pretty darn awesome, so we're excited to work with Rob. So those 3 covers are what's included for the $75 tier that you bought. And then if anyone wants to just buy individual issues, those are $25 a piece.
And here they are now: the X-Farce tribute, Unfunny X-Cons, and the Rob Willis.
Yeah.
You needed a placeholder.
Yeah, I said, Rob, if you don't send me anything, it's just going to be you and your dog. I guess he couldn't really object. The covers that are the variants you'll see in bigger images as we scroll down. But here's a sample of an interior page from the 1960s throwback. And Delphin Barrel is my colorist, and we said, can you try to make it look like it's kind of got that muted color palette from the 60s, you know, because they didn't really use digital coloring. And I think he did a really good job. He tried to make it look like it was old Marvel, and he even put a filter on it that makes the page look like it's brown. And
nice.
Yeah, no, he did a fantastic job. It looks it looks just like a page out of an old comic book.
Thank you. And Mark Lewis, he was a guy that I met just through conventions, and when I saw his stuff, I said, this guy really has a kind of a vintage retro style to his work. And I think if I asked him to pull off an old school Jack Kirby, he would be the guy to do it. So this was like one of his first published works back in '92, but it still holds up, you know, today. It's kind of looking very Kirby-esque.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks great. You recently shared the new Mutants cover on Twitter, and didn't Chris Claremont like it?
Yeah, he did.
Nice.
You know, I actually reached out to Roy Thomas because Mark does some work for Roy, and I thought, how cool would it be to get Roy Thomas to give us like even one page, like a Wolverine spoof or something like that? But his schedule was just too big. Maybe if we ever do a sequel,
nice.
Get Roy Thomas, because you know he's like one of the last living legends from the old Marvel bullpen, and he's still pretty, you know, his mind still seems like he's pretty with it still.
Yeah,
he's still doing stuff, I think, for Dynamite and Red Sonja. I don't know if he's working for Marvel at all these days. I'm not sure. But,
yeah, I'm not sure either. So tell us what comes in the Parody Press Comics Vault Pack. That's $75.
That one is basically it's a grab bag assortment of anything that we still have in stock of our 1990s Parody Press books. So I only have a very few amount of these kind of older books around, and I was giving some away. We had a launch party today, but like these are from the 90s. They're floppies. They're black and white, and the print runs on these were, for the most part, not that big compared to Marvel and DC books. So a parody press book that sold 10 to 20,000. That was a pretty good print run for us. We print them even if they only sold like 5,000. But what you're going to get in the vault pack is 5 issues of stuff that is no longer in print, and those are all autographed as well. So if you want to just kind of check out what we did back in the day, that's what that here is.
Nice.
The X-Farce Reloaded #1 6-pack.
Yeah, this is more like for the speculator that's out there if they want to like have a copy to read and a copy to put away. I just thought I'd test the waters and see if that might sell. So I'm just checking that out. And then the tier underneath that is more aimed towards retailers. So if you're a retailer and you want to buy the book in a quantity of 10, you get a discount. And those all come signed and bagged and boarded. And so you'll get 3 copies of each and then 1 copy of my toy for the 10-pack.
I love your executive box.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, this is awesome. So you're getting lunch boxes made?
Yeah. If you scroll down, Mark, I think it's quite a bit further down the page. You'll see the full image.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to stop.
Is this it?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, neat.
So we've sold a couple of these already, which I'm happy to report. What I kind of was inspired by you guys, your Foot Locker box, and Ethan's does his like honeycomb box and whatnot. So I thought, I was thinking, what would I as a collector think was pretty cool to get if I was going to, spend a couple $100? So the executive box includes all the 3 issues we've discussed. And then you get a metal lunchbox with the X-Farce team on it. It's a color decal. And the other item is a ceramic mug with the X-Farce comic book cover on it. And the cool original piece on there, which I know you guys have done in your fulfillment, is an original piece of artwork by Bill Mouse, which is a sketch card that's pen and ink. So it'll be assorted X-Farce characters drawn by Bill, with a little protective holder on it. So you'll get kind of everything that you see there, and then any stretch goals that we meet will also be included.
That's really awesome.
Thank you. I think the mug fits in the little lunchbox, and you could just kind of have a nice little tidy collectible there. Yeah,
no, lunch boxes is always something I wanted to do for one of my properties, but I never did it. So that's awesome seeing you get to do it.
Yeah, I'm happy to share the supplier that I'm using for that. It's kind of more of a mini size. It's not like something that you can fit an actual thermos in.
Right.
It's more of a mini size, but maybe if in another campaign, if we do well, we'll maybe make something a little bit bigger. I know Ethan's got like a thermos and a huge lunchbox on Rainbow.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty. He's in a whole nother league.
Yeah.
After seeing what went into this one, I'm going, man, this is a lot of work, because you have to put yourself out there and network with people and direct to consumer. And back in my day, you worked for Image, Mark, that it used to be you just solicit your book and it gets in preview.
Oh, yeah.
And then the stores order from that. And then that to me was, that was a lot easier. This just promoting one single book for months. It's like it drains you. It does. It's fun, but it's definitely it's not for the faint of heart.
No.
I think you'll find it more fulfilling though, dealing directly to customers. I don't know. I just get a certain sense of accomplishment, pride, like being the one not only who makes the book, but I package it up, I inspect the books to make sure nothing dinged up goes out, and
it's more personal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt the love when I got my 5-pound box. I knew it came from you, and you know, I'm used to packing orders. My wife and I have had an eBay business for a long time, so I know when Mark, a little bit of audio. Sounds like.
So it looks like we have some original art tiers.
Yep. That one that you're hovering over, that's just a sketch here. Let me see if I can find it. So Mark Lewis, who did that cool 30F cover, also does a pencil layout sketch that he signs. He doesn't let his artwork go out much. Hi, Jim. But we got him to agree to get rid of this pencil layout. So we're offering that.
What's up, Mark? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Good to see you, buddy. His was the cover that I read. That's a great cover. I love that one.
Yeah, Mark did a fantastic job. Oh, you got your shirt on, Mike. Nice.
Buy the shirt.
It's Mark Noon Day.
That's right.
So we have the X-Con's original artwork, page 7. Looks like page 9, page 10.
Yeah.
Are all offered as well.
Yeah, those because we had an inker on that book, which was Kurt Hathaway, who's the letterer as well. He actually got to keep some of the original art pages. So all the pages that Mark didn't want to sell, Kurt says, you know, if you pay me the right price, I'll let him go. So if someone really wants to collect this really cool looking, you know, artwork, you can do that. And there's only 3 original pages available from the campaign.
Nice.
And Bill's cover is also available for $600.
Yeah, that's right here. I have the original right here. So you want to?
Oh wow!
Make it big.
Is that the redo or the original?
This is the one he did in 2020.
Okay.
So it's funny because you artists now, you know, back in the old day, you'd pencil on a 11 by 17, and then either you or an inker would come in and ink it. Bill's like all tech savvy now too, so he actually digitally inked
nice.
the cover. So that's why we don't have an inked version for us to offer to you. So it's just the pencils. But I like pencils.
Kat, join us, Matt.
Did Kat color it? His daughter?
Actually, Bill colored it, and my wife Laura actually did some adjusting to it. But I hear Kat's pretty good.
Yeah, she's a great artist too.
Yeah. Hey, Matt Yackey's in the campaign.
Yeah, another great colorist.
Yes, he's very good. He did a piece for us called For Beard Zerker, which is another book we're working on. So
can I sign up for that?
Oh, definitely.
Next up, we have the New Mutants original art. Is this a painting?
Yeah, actually, Thad, who does the New Mutants artwork, he works on a kind of a mixed media. His artwork, I think, runs like 22 by 30. And I don't have the physical artwork yet, but he's agreed to let me have it and sell it. But he works like a combination airbrush, acrylics, and colored pencil. And so when I approached him, I said, I want to know if you can do a New Mutants parody, and I kind of want to make it look like Bill Sienkiewicz, because Sienkiewicz not only is a good pen and ink guy, but he's also a really good painter. And so wanted to try to emulate more of a painted style in that story rather than line art, which I think that did a good job.
Yeah. And he's donating his cover art as well.
Yeah, the back cover, which is the big image, which I think if you scroll down a little bit more, Mark, it's there. There you go. Yeah, that's
neat.
That's going to be the back cover of all the books. Honestly, standalone, I think it's good enough to be its own cover, but I didn't want to overwhelm everybody with like a gazillion variants. So I had to kind of make the executive decision. So, so basically, it's our take. What if the New Mutants were amphibians? And so we have I have them as flunk. They're basically students that flunked out of the Van Sciver Institute.
Nice.
And,
That's funny.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool that the movie came out, so we could kind of ride on the coattails of the New Mutants movie. I haven't seen the New Mutants movie. Have you guys seen it? Or
I liked it.
I did. I actually liked it a lot.
was it better than Wonder Woman 84?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. It's definitely not the story it's taken from, it's definitely not that story. Like, I think that story could have been done a lot better, but I mean, for what it was, it's a good movie. I liked it.
Nice.
So your final tier is the Rob Willis original cover art.
What you talking about, Willis?
Either that or we send you Rob in a box, basically.
Yeah.
That's just to cover the shipping, that $15,000 or $1,500.
We'll cut some breathing holes in there for you, Rob. Some old lady probably wants to bid on Rob. Yeah, Rob. Once we get his final artwork in, which Matt is going to be coloring, we'll put that in the box where Rob's face is, and obviously we'll feature that in the main image area as well. So, other than that, there's just assorted stretch goals that we have for like stickers and magnets, posters. If by some miracle we hit 50,000, my plan is to give everybody the cesspool whoopee cushion.
Nice.
Now, when do you look to start fulfilling this?
We're probably looking at March. The book is pretty much 80 to 85% done at this point. It's Delphin, who did the coloring, who just finished coloring his 30-page commitment. And now he and another guy named Michael Gracia, they're actually illustrating a story in the book. And then we got the guys from Mighty Mascots, Keith Gleason and his artists are doing a 5-page story. There's a few other stories that I've got that are just, 1 or 2 page stories that are going to go in it as well. So
neat.
Pretty much ready to roll. And I was going to ask you, Mark, I'll probably chat with you later, but I really like the paper stock you used on the first graphic novel here. Is it the same one you used on the subsequent books?
So are you talking about the original first printing or the one that you're...
The one that I have, because I don't have the original first printing.
The original first printing should have been in the box. Is
this
no, it's the one where he's holding the sword and there's flames. But if you're talking about the one that you read, that's the Mark Yoon cover, that was done by Mixum. The original.
Is this the?
No, that's there should be a fifth book in a box.
Either? Not Cedric's.
No, not Cedric's.
All right. Well,
it looks like this.
Okay, I have that one. So
yeah. So that one that Mike was holding up, that was printed by Print Ninja when we printed Graveyard Shift 2. But for the USAssassin 2 and USAssassin 1 reprint, we used Mixum. And I was really happy with the quality. I thought it was just as good quality as Print Ninja.
Yeah. That's who I've been talking to. That's how I've been basing all my production costs is with Mixum.
Yeah.
And, are they printed in the United States? Yeah,
they have printers all over the world. So I think they use whoever's local to the customer.
Okay.
Because some of the USAssassin books for this campaign came from Maryland, and then there was I think they were having some issues for a while. Another batch came from Canada, so they have plants set up all over. So whatever if one's not working, they'll send something from another one.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Well,
And
I'll message you later, and maybe you can tell me like what kind of paper stock this was, because I was
Sure.
I like the way that it held the colors, and it doesn't bleed, and it has a nice quality feel to it, and the nice perfect binding is.
I actually think it's
one
better
of my-
than the original.
Yeah, I mean, this feels like a real book, and I liked your little bios in the back with Chase and Mike, and so you guys are doing the next campaign. When is that coming out? I know you're signing up right now.
Yeah, the sign-up's available now. We're going to launch hopefully in May. We'll see. I like to have a lot of the work done. I just get a little nervous if we're not I don't know, maybe like 85% towards completion, and Mike's almost there. So we're doing good. Yeah. So it'll probably be a May launch.
Cool. Mike, how fast do you work when you're inking yourself?
I kind of adopted what Ethan does, where I just kind of blue pencil, kind of block out where everything is, and then I kind of just go at it with a multitude of inking utensils, and it seems to work out. I had to speed up my process. I knew going into volume 2, and in between volume 1 and 2, I did the supplemental, one of the supplemental stories for Graveyard Shift volume 2, and it was on a set deadline. So that really kind of put me through a boot camp of figuring out speed with quality. So that's kind of what I've been doing with volume 2 and volume 3, trying to do that.
So you guys are both huge G.I. Joe fans, I take it, because this guy's name is Joe, right?
Yeah.
And
Joe Knight, it's right on the nose.
His name actually, G.I. Joe didn't come into play. I'm actually a big American Ninja fan as well, and the main character was Joe Armstrong, so I took the Joe from there. But G.I. Joe works perfectly too.
Okay, cool. I was reading your, the first issue here, and you've got this. You call this guy Yadbir Gore, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, is that something backwards? And I said, Yadbir Gore backwards is Raj Rib Day. And I didn't know if that was somebody that you were making fun of, or maybe I'm just reading into this too much.
Yeah, no, I just made up the name.
Because I know you posted about McRibs like a couple months ago, and I thought maybe you're a secret McRib fan and you had to write it into your script.
So this is kind of like what you're talking about earlier about how writing has to be, it can't be a chore, and volume 1 was only supposed to be just that, just volume 1 and one and done. And I had this character name going through my head called Zero Face, and I wanted to add 3 pages to volume 1. And Mark's like, "We're done. Let's just be done." And I was like, "No. But this guy could be the Storm Shadow to USAssassin Snake Eyes." And let me tell you, that script came so fast. Like, you could tell Mark was on fire with the idea, and it goes right to what you said about, there's a difference between it being labored and it being, inspired and a project that you really care about. It's something personal. And, Mark's first comic books were G.I. Joe, and I'm not going to say that I preyed on his weakness for G.I. Joe, but I mean, it made it for, volume 2 is a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun drawing it. And the way we're building the world now, it's kind of neat that if that little bit of inspiration hadn't have come, if Mark hadn't have put the nitrous in his engines for volume 2, we might, all this stuff wouldn't have happened. We wouldn't have had Flip. We wouldn't have had the rap song and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat to see, like they say, the little spark can set the biggest fire, And,
no, you're
awesome.
right. The first U.S. Assassin was written to be U.S. Assassin's last mission, his last time he puts on the costume, like the Dark Knight version of U.S. Assassin. And then Mike threw in those extra pages, and I really wanted to get the book done because we were on a deadline to get it to the printer because it was a stretch goal with Graveyard Shift, and I didn't want it to hold up Graveyard Shift. But then when Mike told me the idea, my mind just started racing of all the possibilities we could do with if we went in a G.I. Joe direction for the book. So yeah, good work, Mike.
So Mark, do you do all the fulfillment for Graveyard Shift as well?
I did the first campaign, and then John wanted to take it over, starting with the second one. So I flew out to him in Michigan and signed all the books. And then he put together like a crew of people. He joked a crew of senior citizens. I think it was his mom and some friends. they packaged them up, and he had a crew, and I think he got fulfillment done in 6 weeks. I did it by myself. I got it done in 8 weeks, but I think he probably had like twice as many books on his end because the second campaign outperformed the first campaign by quite a bit.
Yeah. Does Chase help you like fulfill?
No. he complains when he has to sign books, and I was like, you should be thrilled that people want you to sign the books. And he was like,
no more creations for you, Chase.
I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't mention that Chase would sign your books for the second U.S. Assassin campaign because just signing the book plates for volume 1, he was.
Oh.
I had to break them up in like nightly installments of here's 30 for you to sign.
Oh, Dad. Oh man.
Is he like? Yeah. Does he respect the fragility of the comics? I mean, I'm always afraid giving them to my teenage grandkids that they're going to get their greasy pizza fingers all over my comics. I don't ever give them the good stuff. I give them something that I've read that I'm not going to really care about. But is Chase a collector? Does he put his comics away and his backing boards and
So he collects like the Pokemon graphic novels, and he takes good care of them. Like he has his own bookshelf with all his books, his manga volumes lined up. But yeah, he was real good when he was signing to make sure not to mess up the books or get any of his fingerprints on it. So yeah.
Do you guys have a German Shepherd that you kind of model a bazooka dog after, or have a dog?
No, we have a cattle dog and we have a pit bull, but Chase always wanted a German Shepherd. So when I was he had a German Shepherd Lego figure, and Bazooka Dog came about because one day Chase and I were playing Legos, and I had this German Shepherd Lego figure, and he had a bazooka Lego piece, and I just stuck it on the back, and Bazooka Dog was born.
That's probably going to be worth some money. You should hang on to that Lego. That's too cool, man. Well, I think you guys are onto something. I mean, the sky's the limit. There's not really any character that's like U.S. Assassin out there. And just the artwork, I know, Mark, you talked about your writing style and you tend to like to let the artist have some cool splash pages to show off their stuff. And not to give any spoilers out, but I know most of your readers have probably already read at least volume 1. But when that one scene where you can see U.S. Assassin kind of blow that guy's head, that was really cool. I mean, it was not for the squeamish, but I thought, now that's something I've not seen before, is that point of view. And Mike, you did a great job of kind of really making that art page it's firmly etched in my psyche.
Well, I mean, it's no Graveyard Shift 1 moment, but I tried to make it as cool as I could. I know I think we were on the Red Valkyrie show, and for Volume 1, the Second Chance campaign, and Shay, the host, didn't realize what that was till she like backed away from it, because it just looked like a hole with like a dude pointing a gun. And then she's like, "Oh, that's a guy's head." I was like, "Yes, that is my my homage to every single Alien movie where they punch a hole through the head, and you can see through it."
That's
so
awesome.
I definitely love my my horror movies and my ninja movies.
Yeah, in fact, the first Alien we ever did, the first Overload we ever did was a parody of Alien, because that came out right about the same time as the first Alien movie. And
Nice.
Parsonovich were huge Alien fans, and he had like some kind of fetish with Sigourney Weaver that I didn't get, but.
So, Don, we're going to start wrapping this up. How many days is your campaign for X-Farce?
We're going for 30 days this first run, and based on kind of what happens in those 30 days, we might extend it. This is all new to me, so I'm just kind of watching you guys and standing back and kind of seeing, oh well, I can do it for 30, but if I want to, I could extend it. And you've got like the in-demand thing where you're still able to be funded. So we'll see where it lands. I'm thinking we'll probably go another 30 days after this, but no, don't hesitate to back it now if you want. Make sure that you get in on the ground floor.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that seems how a lot of the campaigns go. 30 and 30. It's good to test the waters to see if the demand's there. Then you can extend it another 30 days. So if you would like, when the first 30 days are closing up, you can come back here and we'll talk about X-Farce some more.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Definitely.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with hanging out with you. We have a lot in common, and your stuff is growing by leaps and bounds every issue. I can't wait. I'll definitely back the USAssassin Graveyard Shift book, and I'll get back to you after I read the second Zero Face graphic novel.
Awesome. So before we go, Don, where can people find you online at?
Well, if you go to my Twitter, it's at Real Don Chin. We have a website, parodypresscomics.com. I've got a channel on YouTube, so if you just search for Don Chin, you can see my face. And I'm trying to do live streams on a regular basis. This week I've got a lot of different appearances, so it'll depend on how my voice holds up. It's hard to kind of do these every day. You gotta have to.
You gotta have your fluids with you.
Your what with you? What was that, Mike?
Your fluids. You gotta hydrate.
Yeah. Right.
or you go hoarse.
So yeah, guys, I really appreciate the time and your support of the of the vision, and let's hope 2021 is kind to everyone. And thank you everybody in the chat for coming out and hanging out with us.
Yeah, guys, everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us. Mike, you want to tell people where they can find you at?
I don't want any of these people at my doorstep. Oh, I mean, at Mike McMahon 74 on Twitter. I am MP McMahon Art on Instagram. There's a USAssassin fan page on Facebook, and I believe on YouTube it's just Mike McMahon at YouTube. Yeah, I think that's everything. Oh, I also just opened up a big cartel store. The link is on my Twitter and my Instagram, where I'm selling original art from volumes 1 and 2.
Nice.
All right, guys, and you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Coney Waves. Make sure you go sign up for USAssassin Book 3 Graveyard Shift on Indiegogo. And Mike and I will be back Tuesday. We're going to have Marco Lopez on. He's going to launch his book Tuesday. It's called Blanco. So make sure you join us. I'll have a time set up probably the next day. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you in a couple days.
Peace.